Good morning. Yes, good morning, Santa Cruz County Public Media, family and friends. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for watching Meet Your Local Candidates. We love Nogales and Santa Cruz County Public Media. We are on a mission to make sure we are knowledgeable for all our representatives, all of our leaders in our community that are running for us to get to know them in person, to hear about them so we can make a good decision when it's time to vote. We want to continue to invite Santa Cruz County to register to vote. We want to make sure that this time we make a difference and all Santa Cruz County voters go out and vote for November or early voting in October. So with that being said, you all know we continue to have our segments of Meet Your Local Candidates, and thank you for watching us. We've been seeing a lot of audience, a lot of questions and comments, so thank you so much for watching us. We're live in Facebook, and we're live in YouTube as well, and then our platform transferred to Spotify, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, so please follow us, comment, and thank you for growing together with us. I have the pleasure today to interview Mr. Daniel Butierez. Butierez is running for U.S. Congress for District 7. It's such a pleasure to have you here, Mr. Butierez. I know we are a small community here in Santa Cruz County Public Media, and you're traveling everywhere to get to know us, to get to know your people in Santa Cruz County. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for taking the time to come and introduce yourself in our small county but mighty. And thank you. Welcome. And I always like to start our segment of Meet Your Local Candidates with share a little bit about yourself, and so we can get to know you. We can get to know Daniel Butierez, running for U.S. Congress. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Daniel Butierez. It's like Gutierrez except with a B. And I was born in Tucson, Arizona. I'm a third-generation Arizonan. I'm not a politician. I'm a painting contractor. And through the years, I've just watched our community become more and more divided, and that has a lot to do with the lack of representation within CD7. I'm running against Raul Grijalva. He seems to be a really nice man, but he's also a far left extremist, which means he represents about a quarter of the district. And a representative's job is to represent everybody, just not just the people you agree with. Mm-hmm. A representative's job is to listen to both sides and represent both sides. Whether you like it or not, it's what you're supposed to do. And there hasn't been any of that. And I decided I wanted to step up and do something different, because every time we run an election, over 200,000 people do not vote in CD7. And I've spoken to a lot of them, and the big issue is you either got Grijalva that's far on the left, mm-hmm. and he always runs and says he's going to do this and that. For 20 years he's been telling Douglas he's going to do the port, and he hasn't done that. He doesn't really do a lot. And you have the Republicans who tend to run people that when they're battling for the primary, they try to be the furthest right so they can win the Republicans. And then when they go in to the general, all Grijalva does, well, they're extremes, mm-hmm. and they lose. And I've watched this play out, and I decided it was going to take someone from the community who cares about the community to run. And like I said, the biggest thing that's driving me crazy is the absolute division, mm-hmm. and the fact that half the community doesn't have a voice. Mm-hmm. And at this particular time, I mean, Grijalva hasn't even voted since last February. Mm-hmm. He's just recently came out on KOLD, mm-hmm. and he says that, well, one, he wants to retire. Two, he says that it's time for a younger person to step up. So I'm not even sure why he's running. If he wants to retire and a younger person can step up, retire. I'm a younger person and I'm willing to step up. So I, other than he wants to continue to push his far left agenda, why he wouldn't just step down. But he's planning to run. And what he said, which really bothered a lot of people, was when he was asked about the fact that he hadn't voted, what they said was between 300 and 350 votes he had missed. I believe it's 430 something, but he said that those votes were inconsequential, which that means that our voices are inconsequential. And that was a pretty bad thing to say from a person who's supposed to be representing our community. And to say our voices don't matter it's kind of sad. So it's just time for change. It really is.
I see. And thank you for sharing, Mr. Butierez, running for U.S. Congress for District Number 7. I would like also, to address our audience. I know we learn every day about different leadership, different positions on running when it's our time to vote, right? So I would love for you to share with our audience, like, what is the job, what an important job, the U.S. Congress to represent a specific district, and what covers District Number 7?
All right. District Number 7 runs from Douglas to Yuma, up into Avondale, a large part of Tucson, mostly the south side of Tucson, and the west. And it's been amazing traveling everywhere. I've spent so much time up in Yuma, San Luis, Somerton, Avondale, Tucson. I'm just meeting people everywhere. In Douglas, Bisbee. Bisbee's a very liberal town, but I went there and I spent my time talking to people and listening to people, and having an understanding. So, which is what a representative is supposed to do. They're supposed to listen, not, like I said, not just your side and what you believe, but everybody's side.
Yes.
And a young college student I met in Bisbee, he's asked if I would go to their college and speak to them. So I'm going to the Cochise College next Thursday to meet with him and some of the other students there, because they just want to know. They just want to know more about me. Yes. And I've been out meeting everybody. I have no problem meeting everybody. I am going to be coming down here in the coming, I think, a week or two.
Right, on the 11th?
The 11th,
yes, yeah. Yes, to share and to listen about, like, all the things that are happening around Morley Avenue and their projects. Is that?
Yep.
I see. Thank you. So you will be here.
I'll be here then, and tomorrow I will be in Sonoyta.
Okay.
At the rodeo.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
I'm doing a speaking to people there, so
awesome.
A meet and greet.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I know we were talking before we were on air, and yes, you were sharing with us, about the Morley project and all these things happening here in Morley Avenue, as being builder owners for a nonprofit organization. We want to see Morley alive and with more people, like we used to have it in other years. These areas, these streets were packed, were full. It was very hard to find parking for people, because it was a very transited street. So we want to see all that again. So thank you for taking the time of being here and listen to these projects and changes that will be coming up. I know we're gonna share also the informational time and date here in our screen. And also, we know you are very active on Facebook. You have Butierez for U.S. Congress District 7. That's your Facebook. And when we go in, we can all, see what the information, but you share, I am a third generation Arizonan who owns 2 painting companies. I am running because we're in trouble.
Yep.
Those are your words when
Yep.
we open your Facebook. And then obviously, we can see where can we find you, like in Sonoira and this
Yep.
time. And so, but tell us a little bit, we always love to, when we talk to our audience, we always mention, we're just human beings that we're looking for change. So tell me about your part.
Okay. Well, the big change is most people, myself included, are tired of politicians. Okay. And CD7 has been run for the last 22 years by a politician. He lacks he lacks what's needed to run a district. We shouldn't be electing people that are just politicians. We really need to elect people that have knowledge in business, because the United States in all districts is one big business. And he lacks the skills to do this. He's never had a business. He's always been a politician. He knows how to spend our money. He doesn't know how to earn money, so which kind of led him down a socialist path. And it's really hard to grow anything with the socialist ideal, because now you got 2 things to do. You got to first convince Washington to give you money, and 2, you got to tell the people that you're supposed to be representing that, hey, I need you to give me more money. It never comes back, and that's the part about a tax where we need to cut taxes, is quit some of the spending that our government does. And that's another big reason I ran, because our government, the leaders we've had for so many years, are not competent. They're just not. They have no business being in office. They have no understanding about business, money, and I know you got to be like me. Politicians, they come out and they come up with this great idea they're going to be, and all I see are dollar signs flashing by, and they don't even care if it works or not. They don't know whether it's going to work or not. They just say, hey, let's try this out, and it should work based on what the paper says it should work. And a businessman, as a businessman, I've got to plan and strategize. So before I go spend some money trying to do something, I look at all the different ways it may not work, and I cover myself for it. Politicians don't have to do that. So they don't even look at whether or not it's going to work. They just say, hey, we're going to take your money and we're going to do this. And when it doesn't work, they say, hey, send me some more money so I can try it again. And for 22 years, we have been doing the same thing over and over and over. And I don't know about you, but as well, I do know. You just told me. Nogales used to be packed. There were lots of people here. Businesses are closing down in Tucson. We have 900 homeless camps in Tucson. And what's our government doing? What's the guy I'm running against doing? He wants more of your tax dollars to bring more homeless from all over the world into an already major crisis in our community. And that's insanity. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Let's not continue to elect the same politician that's clearly not doing better for our community, but destroying our communities.
I see, and thank you for sharing your information, your views, and also I want to ask you, as running for U.S. Congress for District Number 7, Mr. Daniel Butierez, how do you see, because you do have around your district a couple of borders, this one being one, and we're so close to one here in our studio in Morley Avenue. And so if you would like to share some of your views or some of your visions for our borders around the U.S., but maybe also, if we can concentrate on our borders here around.
That would be a good one to bring up. And I'll tell you, we need to fix our immigration. Grijalva has told us for 22 years that that we need to fix the immigration, fix the immigration, fix the immigration. In 22 years, he has done nothing but destroy our immigration. He's made it worse. He's made it a problem. And I say this because before Grijalva got into office, people used to be able to come here, get their green cards, take their test, and become citizens rather quickly. I sponsored my friend Jesus Becerra from Mexico 17 years ago. I went down to the lawyer 3 times. I took him all the paperwork. I signed all the documents. I was his sponsor. I said, hey, I'll sponsor him. And to this day, he's still not a citizen. And now I haven't heard from him for probably because he borrowed some money from me and he thinks, so he doesn't contact me, which is ridiculous. That friends shouldn't stop being friends because you can't pay me back. But in any case, other than that's a problem. He hasn't fixed it. He's broke it. He's the reason it's broken. And I believe people, as I said, I sponsored someone. My great-grandfather came from Mexico in the 1800s. Immigration has always been part of our heritage and our people. But it needs to be legal, and we need to know who's here.
I see.
It's that simple.
Thank you. And with that being said, I saw pictures with you and Mr. Ciscomani, congressman here in Arizona. And he is Latino. He speaks Spanish. Y le mandamos un saludo al señor Ciscomani con mucho cariño. Él es de Hermosillo, Sonora. So he's from Hermosillo. And I saw a picture that you guys are together talking and campaigning. So tell me about then your views about immigration, because I think that will be great for our audience also to hear, there's also your thoughts and your views about immigration.
Well, Juan Ciscomani, he's a great guy. He's actually a friend of mine. He's endorsed me. And he's an immigrant and a legal immigrant. I've also been endorsed by other immigrants. Because most legal immigrants aren't happy about what's happening at our border because they worked very hard to get their immigration status. And we need to fix that so that people that are trying to get their legal immigration status can do that much quicker.
Right.
And the reason is, let me tell you how this works, because I've studied law and I've dealt with the courts many times. Criminal cases take priority over civil cases. So when they come across the border illegally, their cases jump to the front of the line because it's a criminal matter. And we have millions and millions of them that are at the front of the line because they committed a criminal act or been charged with a criminal act and they've got to go to the court. All those that are trying to do it the right way and legal way get moved to the back of the bus. Which is why Jesus Becerra has been 17 years because we've packed the courts up front. We've got to stop packing the court up front. We've got to stop this from all these illegal entries from happening so that we can get people to start doing it the right way. And the people that are coming right now are not coming from Mexico. They're coming from other countries through Mexico. Mexico's actually doing pretty good right now financially. People are happy there. They're not running from Mexico. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but Mexico has started building itself and becoming a stronger country. And so the people aren't running from Mexico. Asylum is you go to your neighboring country, not you travel halfway around the world to come to America. So most of these asylum cases are not legal asylum cases because they could have went to Mexico. Why would they go through Mexico? That's South American that are coming. Other ones that are coming from Africa and China, they have other countries closer to them than America. Everyone's coming to America because we have put out an invitation to the world to come to America. And that needs to be ended. That needs to be stopped. And my relatives, as you know, I'm a Calderon and a Gutierrez. Those are my family. And I have talked to my Calderon relatives that are, they're not happy with what's happening here because it's no longer our relatives coming from Mexico, but people from all over the world, and some of these people are not good people. So.
I see, and thank you, Mr. Butierrez, running for U.S. Congress for District 7. And you know, like I love to have that repetition when we have our candidates, because people, our audience, our county, everyone that watches us, and thank you for that, they can get to know, you know, the candidates. When it's time for the ballots, when we get our ballots at home, they don't have pictures, right? So
Right.
it's very important to, you know, to show the person that sits here with us, and to let know the audience, you know, so they can visualize, they can see and recognize the names, their visions, and their dreams about, you know, the district that they're about to represent, or they're currently representing as well. So thank you for sharing all that information. And I know you being a business owner, how do you support, or how will you support if once if you get elected for the position for U.S. Congress for District Number 7, all this, you know, new generations of entrepreneurs, that they continue to develop amazing thing, or that we continue, you know, to grow a nonprofit organization, or they continue to stay where they finish their education, and they want to stay in their small counties to develop their entrepreneur skills. How will you support those ambitions and views?
That's a good question, because it is probably an important question, so I can give a good answer to that. In 2017 is when I stopped working for somebody else. In 2017 is when Trump gave the Trump tax cuts. Okay, they're being attacked really hard from the Harris team, but I'm an example of that. Okay, I took advantage of those tax cuts. It gave me the courage, because it's really hard to start a small business when you're paying out 37% taxes on the money that you're making. When you got to put that money back into a business, most businesses collapse. Trump's tax plan gave me a chance, with the confidence, step in and do my business. And it gave me an opportunity to grow my business. And I wound up growing my business. Then I went and bought the other company I used to work for, so I own both. I would want to continue those tax cuts so that they can help other people start their businesses and have the courage to start their business. And I actually like being an example and a role model to people, because I'm one of Arizona's wrongfully convicted. I've been homeless. I've been hooked on drugs. I overcame all those obstacles.
Wow. Congratulations.
To become a business owner and now run for Congress. And as a matter, it was kind of funny. An article came out where Grijalva suggested that he was more intelligent than I am, and I can't even imagine saying that about someone who has clearly walked the road I walked, and someone to have overcome a wrongful conviction, to overcome living in the streets for 2 years, to overcome a drug addiction, to rise up and become an investor, a real estate owner, to own businesses, and to rise up to the point of running for United States Congress against a man who apparently thinks he's more intelligent than me. It's kind of crazy, but
yes, thank you for. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think that's a great example also, you know, for people that would like to, that have been maybe on that position and they think they cannot continue forward. So it's a great example, and congratulations to you and my respects. I didn't know that part of Mr. Daniel Butierez running for U.S. Congress for District Number 7, and I think it's such a good, example and encouragement for our people to move forward, for our people to say, I know where you've been through, or I can talk about it. Let's plan for for something successful.
Well, that's a big difference between Grajava and I. Grajava really has no connection with anybody in the community, where I have a connection with everybody in the community. I did 9.5 years in prison. I walked through prisons, maximum security. I spent 3 years in maximum security. It took 30 years before the state of Arizona finally admitted that, one, I didn't commit the crime, and two, I had never even been convicted. It's a big story. I mean, that in itself is a story. And I believe that God took me down that road for this moment right now because I can connect with everyone in our communities. I'm a working man, and as a Hispanic, it's part of our heritage, as we are hard workers.
Yes.
My great-grandfather worked the cotton fields. My grandfather worked the cotton fields. My dad and his brothers and sisters worked the cotton fields until they went to work at the mines.
I see.
And it's who we are as a people. We are workers. Obstacles don't stand in front of us because we are always willing to work, and we've built this community. And it just drives me crazy when you got politicians telling us how we should spend our money who have never been physical workers or blue-collar workers or walked in the shoes of any of us.
I see.
While I have walked in the shoes of everybody.
I see.
So I have that connection with the community that Grajava doesn't.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because I think it will be great inspiration for entrepreneurs, to say, this is how, where I've been, and everything is possible, and, also great opportunities for our future generations. We always talk about it, how a leader inspire others to continue and do the same vision, those same things, to continue to have a better place, with us, Santa Cruz County, or a better district, So thank you so much for that. Our Santa Cruz County, it's full of amazing people, truly. We have amazing community leaders. We have also. We continue to develop, with resources, for example, we're gonna have eventually working here the mine. They have a project here, South 32, working on the mine project, and at the same time we're very protective of our natural resources, and but we would like to see also the development of our area with workers and people here, so a good transformation and good balances. So can you share with me a little bit about, for example, experiences where we're trying to collaborate at the same time, but taking care of our natural resources and taking care of our people that live around the area?
Yeah, well, the big thing we need to do is we need to bring mining back to us. Regardless, there's going to be mining. It's going to be other countries coming here and mining, but if they're going to do these electric cars, there's got to be mining.
Right.
You can't have the electric cars without the mining. Concern, and here's a businessman approach. The electric cars disturb me because no one's thinking about what are we going to do with the batteries. Lithium is very poisonous, and it's very destructive to our environment, and it's not something you can just dispose of. So, these are things that politicians don't look at as consequences. I'm excited about getting electric cars going. That would be great. But we need to know what we're going to do, not just throw a bunch of money at a project and then all of a sudden we got to figure out how we're going to throw money at another project to fix what they did the first time. This is why politicians they don't have the knowledge or experience to do their jobs. Just because they're a politician doesn't make them the right people for the job.
I see.
But that's one thing. The electric cars, we need to bring the mines back. We need to have oversight on our mines that we do. Not let China come over here and mine. I mean, if they want to come over here and mine, that's fine. But we need to let our people mine first. This is our home. We have people that need jobs. We need to let our people mine, and we need to make the profits. Not let China come over here, mine our mine, take up all our resources, our natural resources, and then sell them back to us. I mean, it's just crazy what our government's letting happen.
Right.
So,
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And then last question, it's not a questionnaire, like we're talking and informing like our county, but I would love to address, and I know some of the parts are a lot of focusing on Santa Cruz County, but at the same time, I think we expand those same views or those same type thoughts about like border and bringing jobs, supporting entrepreneurs, but also as a proud fire wife or wife of a first responder. I would love to know if there's what are your views with all the first responders. We've seen them, working hard, and my admiration to all of them. And I know as leaders in the community, you guys have also like big respect for them. So also, your views about, here on our border, those like the first responders that work here through checkpoints, through police, sheriff department, firefighters, like what are your views and your support for them?
well, I go out when I got time and I wave flags for the first responders. And if you go to my Facebook, you'll see I've been a longtime member of Back the Blue because I believe in our first responders big time.
Right.
And so, yeah, if they go to Facebook, they can follow me. They can see that I've been a big supporter of our first responders for a long, long time.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, when they came in to defund the police, I was standing, they had, I think 3 or 4 protesters with it, and we had hundreds of supporters, and that was downtown in Tucson. And as a matter of fact, I was on one of the television stations because they interviewed me, and I spoke for the first responders, and we ended that, defunding the police. That was insane.
Right. So thank you for sharing. And then Mr. Butierez, Daniel Butierez, running for U.S. Congress for District Number 7. Also, please address our community and let them know, first of all, why it's so important for all of us to go out and vote. So convenient. We can vote by mail, or we can just go and vote around our areas in person. So why the importance of voting in our small communities, and why it will be important to vote for Mr. Daniel Butierez running for U.S. Congress for District Number 7.
Hey, this year, and every year has been important, but this year has got to be the most important time in our lives. Trust me, I would not be running for Congress if we were not in such a bad spot, because I would much rather be fishing right now. We are in a battle between good and evil. This is no longer Democrats, Republicans. We need to all vote our values. Okay, I'm a Catholic, and I know that I've been a Catholic my whole life. My family's all Catholics. I met Mr. Valenzuela last night, and it turns out he's my cousin. And that was pretty neat, Dr. Valenzuela. But our communities and our people have been Catholics, and there are things happening in our community that tell you right there, if the individuals you are looking at are not following our Christian values, then don't vote for them. If they are following our Christian values, then vote for them. And every Christian needs to get up right now, because there's a story. I don't know if any of you heard about the drowning man, but the waters came in. He got on the roof. A rowboat come over, said, "Hey, quick, get in." He said, "No, I'm praying to God. He's going to rescue me." And the guy reluctantly took off. Then a speedboat came and said, "Come on." And the water was rising. And he said, "No, I'm praying to God. He's going to rescue me." And then the water was up at his throat. And the helicopter came through a rope and said, "Grab the rope. I'll save you." And he said, "No, no, no. God's going to save me." And then he was standing at the pearly gates. He looked at God and said, "What happened? I prayed to you and you didn't save me." He said, "What are you talking about? I sent you a rowboat. I sent you a speedboat. I sent you a helicopter. You didn't save you." And right now, I'm telling you, God has sent some really good people out here to save our country. And all you have to do is register and vote. Everybody get out and vote. We got to save our country.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all this. Thank you for your time, for being here with us, for taking the time to travel to our small studio here in Morley Avenue. Talk to us, get to know Daniel Butierez. It has been a pleasure. And please, if you're in Santa Cruz County, last day to register to vote is November 7. And then early ballots start going out on October 9. So October 7, last day to register to vote. October 9, ballots go out. We can start voting as early as October 7. And then our voting time, it's in November 5th. So check your information, check your mail, check your ballots. And Mr. Daniel Butierez running for U.S. Congress for District Number 7. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for talking to our audience. Thank you for acknowledging our audience. Your pictures have been, during the interview, your contact information in case any person wants to contact you. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And we hope to see you again here in our county to give us updates. You are welcome anytime.
Well, we'll be coming quite a bit.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching us. It has been a pleasure, and see you guys around the next couple of days. Hasta luego.